All right, good evening, everyone. This is Corey here with Zero Meter Chasers. It's 6:05 Central, 7:05 Eastern. You guys let me know if you can hear me in the comments. I want to make sure all the audio is working great. So you guys just let me know if everything is good on y'all's end, and we will get started. So do appreciate everybody tuning in. Awesome. Thank you guys for letting me know that you can hear me. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start discussing tomorrow's severe weather threat. So what we're going to start with is this is the newest Storm Prediction Center outlook. Now, if you remember yesterday, the Storm Prediction Center outlook extended this enhanced risk almost all the way to Bowling Green. It looked something like this. They retracted that risk and moved it more towards the north and east this morning. Haven't really changed much today, but I want to make sure that everybody's clear about this, okay? Just because we're not in this enhanced risk does not mean we should let our guard down. I believe that tomorrow's severe weather threat might be one of the highest that we've seen this year, if not the highest that we've seen this year here in Kentucky. We've had several severe weather threats this year. And I definitely think tomorrow's severe weather threat is going to be one of the top events we've seen this year here in Kentucky. Not trying to scare anybody by no means. Number one goal is we want everybody to be prepared and not scared, right? But nonetheless, I want to make sure that everybody is aware of what kind of situation we're dealing with tomorrow, okay? So just kind of looking over some of the risk areas. This is the wind risk that we're looking at. Now, my colleague here at Zero Meter Chasers, Chris Evans, did a live video earlier. The Storm Prediction Center has kind of changed its risk a little bit this year. In the past, this red 30% would previously have been a enhanced risk, which would have been that level 3. As you can see, the majority of the state is in this red area here. This is a 30% chance for damaging winds, this area that I'm hashing out here. So basically, this 30% now is only a slight risk. This 30% red area only becomes a level 3 if it is hatched, which means there's a chance for significant wind damage. That's really what the difference is right now. Is the Storm Prediction Center right now is stating that there's not a chance for significant wind damage in this red area. But again, damaging winds is going to be the main threat for tomorrow, and you guys see the majority of Kentucky is in this 30% red area, and this is where you have the highest wind threat. This is going to be up here, say basically from Paintsville over to Richmond, up to the Frankfort area, up to the Cincinnati, the area that is in this pink area. This is the area of Kentucky, the northeastern portion here, that has the best chance to see damaging winds tomorrow and the best chance for overall severe weather, okay? Again, don't want to let anybody let their guard down by no means, because the entire state is in a risk for severe weather. So damaging winds is going to be the primary threat. Isolated hail, this is the hail threat. And the best chance for any type of hail will come with any type of supercell thunderstorm that develops before these storms kind of congeal into a main line, okay? And that's going to be, I would say, basically from the Cumberland Parkway to the north. So the northern two-thirds of Kentucky will have a chance at some type of hail tomorrow. 15%, again, hail not a big threat, but still a threat to watch. And here is the tornado threat. Again, best chance for any type of tornadic activity is going to be in the northeastern section, but you can see how this kind of slopes down almost all the way to Campbellsville, okay? So just kind of based off some of the data that I'm looking at here, okay? We're going to go to the 30% wind. I think, at least, this is just Corey's opinion, right? I think that this 45% risk area might come down to include something along the lines of this right here. Kind of what it looked like yesterday, okay? I also think this tornado threat could be extended down kind of in the same area as well. We'll see what the Storm Prediction Center does. There's going to be a lot of things that we're watching, right? So let's go ahead and kind of look at the model data and kind of look to see what we're looking at tomorrow. Making sure there ain't nothing in the comments I need to look at real quick. Okay. So just real quickly, so this is what I'm going to show you guys is the HRRR model, Futurecast radar. It's not precise. The data that I'm going to show you does not mean, I wouldn't take it with the Bible of what's going to happen here. This kind of just gives you an idea of what could happen according to the HRRR model. Okay, this is the latest update. It's the 18Z, so it goes all the way out to 48 hours, so we can see tomorrow's full severe weather event here. Okay, and again, the main thing we're going to be watching here is this first wave. So this first wave is going to be coming into the Cincinnati, the northern Kentucky area, somewhere around 10 a.m. 10 to 1 p.m. is the official National Weather Service timing, okay? And this is primarily going to affect this area that has the highest chance for severe weather. Your Lexington, your Richmond, your Frankfort, Cincinnati areas, okay? And that's going to be our first wave. So we're expected to see basically 2 waves here. So this first wave is going to stay primarily to around the Lexington area, the northern Kentucky area. This is 12 o'clock Central Time tomorrow, okay? Now, as we progress into the afternoon, I know a lot of people wants to know timing, okay? As we progress into the afternoon, right now, up until the noon hour, you guys will see central Kentucky here. Nothing is on the radar for the majority of central and western Kentucky. The only thing so far through noon tomorrow is storm activity up here in, say, the Bluegrass region, the northeastern part of Kentucky, basically from Lexington to Cincinnati, your Frankfort, Richmond, those type areas, okay? This is through noon tomorrow. Now, as we progress into the afternoon, this is what we're going to be looking at, okay? This is 1 o'clock. Now, watch the Ohio River here. We're going to start to see some storm development basically along and north of the West Kentucky and Bluegrass Parkways. This is 2 o'clock. These storms that pop up is probably going to have the best chance for isolated tornadic activity because these storms are not going to be together. They're going to be isolated. This is where you're going to see your isolated supercells develop. Again, not a huge tornado threat. I'm not saying this is going to be a major tornado outbreak or anything like that. But any of these storms that develop, say before 3 to 4 o'clock, will have the best chance for tornadic activity. And right now, that appears to be right along the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways is where these storms are going to develop, and they're going to move to the south. So these storms here, between 2, 3 o'clock, these storms are going to have the best potential to see, again, your isolated tornadoes. But these storms are going to start to kind of congeal into a line. And that line moves off towards the Somerset area. And then we have more storms that develop up around the Elizabethtown area. And this looks like it's going to be more of a line fixture. And then we have multiple storms that develop. This is where you're probably going to have more of your damaging wind threat. This is 6 o'clock p.m. And then this line is going to quickly move off into the Tennessee area and ending our severe weather threat. This is 9 o'clock p.m. So thankfully, if there's anything to be thankful for, we're not having to track severe weather after midnight like we usually are. Of course, this could change, but as of right now, it appears that our severe weather threat is going to be over by 9 p.m. and we could all get a good night's rest. So if we have anything to be thankful for, it's that. But again, we're going to be looking at basically storm activity, say from 3 p.m. all the way to 10 p.m. So it's going to be a very active afternoon. We're going to have several rounds of thunderstorm activity. And the main thing that just nobody really knows until it starts happening is this area of storm activity right here that forms in the northeastern part of Kentucky, again, your Lexington, Frankfort, Cincinnati areas. That this area of storm activity is going to affect the whole entire afternoon. This storm activity is going to lay down boundaries for the next wave of thunderstorm activity to develop. And then once those storms kind of form and develop, there's going to be other boundaries that are laid down out there where additional storm development is going to occur. And this is going to continue to happen throughout the afternoon, okay? And you guys see how active the radar gets, especially as we progress towards, say, the 6 o'clock time frame. So, again, best time frame here in central Kentucky, we're looking at early, and I'm going to go off by official National Weather Service times, but this matches what the HRRR model is showing. We're going to say for central Kentucky, it could start as early as noon tomorrow. We could have storms start to develop around the noon hour, and those storms could continue all the way and through 10 p.m. Now, it's not going to be all at once, right? We'll see wave, probably 2 waves, maybe even 3 waves, just depending on how everything develops tomorrow. But for sure, 2 waves is what we're looking like right now, okay? And like I said, best severe weather threat, or the number 1 severe weather threat tomorrow is going to be damaging winds. Isolated tornadoes is going to be your secondary threat, and large hail, also a threat with any supercell that develops, and lots of lightning. These storms are going to produce a lot of lightning. Something else we want to talk about too is the rain threat. Now again, I don't want anybody to say, oh, Lexington's going to get 5.3 inches of rain tomorrow. Somerset's going to get 4.6. That is not what Corey is saying here this afternoon. This just kind of gives you guys an idea of these storms, when they form, wherever they do form. If we have these storms track over the same areas, especially over, say, a 1 to 2 hour time frame, you're going to see flash flooding. We've seen it over the past few days, especially here in my home county of Greene. We had back-to-back days of flash flooding. We had it on Sunday. I guess it was Friday and Sunday, right? So 2 out of 3 days we had flash flooding here in Greene County. Doesn't take much. We get an hour full of continuous heavy rainfall, you're going to see flash flooding relatively quickly. So these storms, again, this just kind of shows you an idea of wherever these storms develop, wherever they move, especially if it's over the same areas. This is what you're seeing. These storms developing over Lexington, staying over the same area. These storms over here in Somerset, kind of staying over the same area. Again, not saying these are the 2 locations that is going to see flash flooding. It could be anywhere in central Kentucky, but flash flooding is going to be a bigger risk than what is currently talked about right now, okay? So, with that being said, let's go back here to the, I do want to touch on one thing. We will, let me see if I can go down here real quick. There is some people taking some vacations. I want to make sure that I do touch on this real quick, because we do still have a tropical depression down here in the Gulf. This is tropical depression number 2. This is going to be Tropical Storm Bertha. It's going to stay off the coast of Panama City, off the coast of Fort Walton Beach. But as you can see, it's going to be moving toward Louisiana. Probably going to make landfall in Louisiana sometime. When is the 23rd? Is that Thursday? Yeah, Thursday, with, say, 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's going to create riptides, a lot of surf, lots of heavy rainfall along the coast. So if you're going down for a vacation this week, my apologies in advance. Again, not a major hurricane by no means or anything like that, but definitely something to keep an eye on. So I know we got a lot of stuff going on, but I did want to mention that as well. But again, number 1 thing that we are watching is, again, tomorrow's severe weather threat. And again, I want to make sure that this is very, very clear to everybody, even though that we're not in this enhanced risk, that the majority of central Kentucky is in a level 2. I don't really personally care if you're in a level 2 or level 3. I think the severe weather threat is the same. I think everybody has a great chance at seeing severe thunderstorm activity tomorrow afternoon. Again, damaging winds will be the main threat. I think we'll have several isolated tornadoes here in the central Kentucky area tomorrow. So, and you could make an argument that this could be Kentucky's biggest severe weather threat out of the whole entire year so far. You could make that argument. I'm not saying that's going to come true, but you could definitely make the argument that tomorrow's setup could be the biggest severe weather threat that we've seen this year. So, again, not trying to scare anybody. I just want everybody to be prepared. That's our number 1 goal here, is prepare for the worst and hope for the best. So, if you guys have any questions, I'll stay live here just for a little bit longer, answer any questions. Again, I know everybody is going to ask me what time. And we'll just go ahead and pull up the Futurecast HRRR model one more time, so you guys can kind of see what we're expected to see as far as time frame tomorrow. So the time frame is going to be right up here in the top corner here. You guys see this is what time the radar is showing. So again, this is Futurecast radar. The time's going to be right here. It's going to show you what time that this radar is showing. So this is 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. 1 o'clock is when 1 to 2 o'clock is when we start to see rapid thunderstorm development. Again, right along the Western Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways, along and just to the north. And then this area of thunderstorm activity is going to move to the southeast. We start to see more thunderstorm activity develop around the same locations. That's going to be 4 o'clock Central Time, 5 o'clock Eastern. And then we basically have an active radar until this line of thunderstorm activity moves into Tennessee by around the 8 or 9 o'clock Central time frame. Okay. All right, does anybody have any questions? If you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I'm going to pull the outlooks back up here real quick so you guys can see that for tomorrow. Get that back up here. I'm going to pull the wind. Again, wind is our main threat. This is the wind threat for tomorrow. Alright, going through the comment section here, just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. We'll go back over time and one more time before I end the stream. Yeah, 10% tornado threat, I definitely think that is on the table. I mean, we'll look at here. I mean, I think if there's going to be an upgraded tornado risk, the first thing, I would think that the 5% would probably come down a little bit, and then maybe there's another 10% up here in, say, the Lexington area, and that might come down a little bit more too. Again, there's still a lot of questions with how this all evolves as we head into tomorrow morning. What the latest model's showing, what side the Storm Prediction Center is going to be on. So we'll have to watch to see how they determine all that as we head into the overnight update and what they put out on the early morning package. And I agree with that too. As far as the moderate risk there, I definitely think there could be. I think a moderate risk for wind might be a higher chance than a 10% tornado. I think we're dealing with a pretty significant wind event, especially up here in say Ohio, West Virginia, and Pennsylvania. So there could definitely be a moderate risk up here in this neck of the woods as well. But I definitely think that this will, I think the 45 will come down just at least somewhat. I'm not saying maybe not all the way to Bowling Green, but maybe something along the lines of that. You know, we'll see what the Storm Prediction Center decides to do with this tomorrow on the morning update. Or I guess I should say the just after midnight update. We'll see what they decide to do. You could make an argument either way. I definitely agree with that, Chris. I definitely think that this needs to come down to at least to the I-65 area. So kind of a meet in the middle type deal. You make the argument something along like that right there for the 45. Like I said, we're splitting hairs here, and I want to make sure everybody is I want to make sure we're all on the same page. It doesn't matter, in my opinion, if you're in the 45 or the 30%. I think everybody in the 30% in this red risk has a pretty good chance of seeing severe weather tomorrow. Now, obviously, it's higher up in the Lexington-Cincinnati corridor, but I definitely think everybody in central and eastern Kentucky is going to have a good chance of seeing severe weather tomorrow. Can you guys hear the sound now? This mic picks up every single thing in this room. I don't know if you guys can hear it now, but it's my computer fan, and it's honestly not that loud. This mic picks up everything and amplifies it. The fan didn't stop. There's a button on the bottom. I'm not an audio guy, okay? There's a button on the bottom of this mic to where if I press it, it picks up everything a lot better. And if I press it again, it kind of mutes the background. It hides, I think it's called suppression maybe. It suppresses the noise. It doesn't pick up everything. So I hit this button. I haven't done anything. I literally just hit this button. Perfect. See, I'm glad I could press that button for you guys. See, when you guys first mentioned that, I thought it was my I have a air conditioner. So I'm in the basement, just so you guys know. I have my studio is in the basement here, weather office, whatever you want to call it. For what's the word I'm looking for? Weather guy in the basement. I mean, I feel like it's that's what needs to happen. Your weather office needs to be in the basement. But I have an air conditioner, my AC unit. There's a fan right above me. I thought that that's what it was, and yeah. And yes, so tomorrow. So we'll go. I'm going to go over the time frame. I promise, guys. I see all you guys asking for time frame as far as what time. We'll go over it just a second. But tomorrow we'll be live whenever the storms start until they end. We're going to have our storm chaser Chris Evans. He's going to be in Central Kentucky chasing. We'll have his live footage on here. We will go back and forth between him wherever he's at. We'll show his live chaser footage on the stream from time to time. And also, I do want to show you guys this real quick. So on our website, we have a cool new feature. And if you haven't been to our website, it's called 0 with the number 0 meterchasers.com. When you go to our website, there's a submit a photo button. So tomorrow, if you guys have any pictures, let me see if I can get to it. I want to show you guys this. Yeah, if you guys have any pictures, you can submit those photos. And this is just going to be, let me find a picture. This is from Chris Evans. This was, well, we'll just put it on here. And let me minimize this. So this is what you guys will see tomorrow. If you guys post anything on our website, I have the option now to put this on the broadcast. So you'll have your name at the bottom, location, and the time, and it'll have storm pictures. So this is going to be a cool new feature we're going to start using on our live videos during severe weather situations, especially when winter gets here. We have a lot of people that send pictures in during winter storms. So this is going to be another way for you guys to interact with us. So here's another one. This is from our chief meteorologist here, Mike Seals in Bowling Green. And this is not from today, by the way. These are old pictures. We was testing it out, running some beta testing on it. But again, this is what you guys are going to be seeing tomorrow. Anybody that has pictures out in the field will be able to see it. I have it all right here on I got my little laptop here beside me. And I'll be able to see those pictures in real time when you guys send them in. And I just press a button and they are on the stream for everybody to see. So this is going to be a great new way for us to interact with our viewers, because we do it for you guys, right? We don't do it for us. We do it for you guys. We want you guys to be prepared for what's coming, and we want to be able to help you guys as much as possible. That's why we do what we do. So definitely wanted to throw that out there. It's just nothing but a click of a button to me. So sometimes I click the button too many times and it stays on there. Boom. So website is, I'll type it in the chat here. ZeroMeterChasers.com. With the 0 being a number. I don't know if you guys seen that or not. So if anybody, Chris might still be on here. Chris, if you want to type it in there for everybody. But tomorrow when we do live, I'll actually put the website on one of my comments. Thanks, Chris. Chris put it in there. And we'll pin it on there. Thanks, Elliot. Elliot's got it in there. So let's go over the time frame one more time. And what I'm going to show you guys is this is the HRRR model. And this is just going to give you guys an idea of how tomorrow will unfold. So this is 9 a.m. So again, if you're looking at the time, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you guys can kind of see where some people's located on the map. We'll do Central Kentucky specific here. So here's the time frame. So if you're asking about timing, this is the time for you to pay attention. This is the time up in the upper left-hand corner. This gives everybody an idea of what time these storms are going to be moving in. So this is 9 o'clock a.m. This is Central Time, okay? 10, 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock to the noon hour, you guys see these storms up here in the northeastern part of Kentucky, just north of Lexington. This is going to be our first round of storm activity. This is noon. And again, up until the noon hour, all of central Kentucky, nothing going on. So as of right now, unless something changes, so please pay attention to the forecast because the forecast will change. As of right now, central Kentucky is not expected to see anything until after the noon hour. The official National Weather Service forecast on their deck of slides that they updated at 2:50 p.m. The National Weather Service is not expecting any storm activity to begin in central Kentucky until after noon tomorrow. Okay? Once noon gets here, you'll start to see some thunderstorm activity develop. This is going to be right along and north of the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkways. This is going to be 2 o'clock Central Time. This is going to be kind of our round one, our first wave of storm activity. This wave slowly moves to the south, and then we have more storm activity that develops right around the same areas, and this is going to be our second wave. So our first wave is still over here. Our second wave is up here. Again, same areas that developed the first wave. Both of these waves are going to basically congeal into a line over time. So it's 6 o'clock p.m., 7 o'clock p.m. This is when this line starts to move towards the Tennessee border. We're expecting this line to move into south central Kentucky around the 6 o'clock time frame. 6 to 7 o'clock is when things are going to be moving into south central Kentucky, and then eventually into the Tennessee area, and then our severe weather threat will be over for the night. Okay? So again, one more time. First wave of storm activity for central Kentucky. We're looking at that happening sometime between the 12 and 4 o'clock time frame. This is the HRRR model futurecast. Between 12 and 4 is when this first wave is going to develop. You're going to see scattered thunderstorm activity all across central Kentucky on this first wave. Again, this is the wave. Your first wave is going to have your best chance to see any type of tornadic activity. And as we get into the 4 o'clock time frame, more thunderstorm activity is going to develop. According to the HRRR model, is going to develop along the West Kentucky Bluegrass Parkway. And then you're going to have both of these waves kind of congeal into one line and then slowly move into Tennessee. Okay. Damaging winds is going to be the main threat. Isolated tornadoes, obviously something we're going to be watching too. And again, torrential rainfall. Don't want anybody to sleep on the rainfall threat. That is something that we're going to be watching very closely. Looking at the National Weather Service slide here. Their forecast, the National Weather Service is forecasting widespread 1 to 2 inch amounts east of I-65, isolated storm amounts of 3 inches plus. And that checks out with what the HRRR model is showing. So that, again, National Weather Service says east of I-65 is going to have the best chance for those 1 to 2 inch amounts. And look at these rainfall amounts. It lines up with what the National Weather Service is saying. Again, point of uncertainty is what I was just talking about just a little bit ago. Precise location of heaviest rainfalls is the biggest uncertainty. So these big rainfall amounts that you see, that could be anywhere in central Kentucky. So anybody that sees these bigger rainfall amounts where these storms just kind of train over the same areas, that's where you're going to have your best flash flooding potential. So please, if you live in your flood-prone areas, low-lying, poor drainage areas, please keep in mind that tomorrow does carry a flash flooding threat as well. I don't want anybody to sleep on that. And yes, there is going to be a hail threat too. Not as much as a damaging wind threat, but still a hail threat. And here is the hail threat for tomorrow, right here. Again, just a 15% on the hail threat. And that's basically going to be along and to the north of the Cumberland Parkway here in the central Kentucky area. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys. And just wanted to give everybody kind of an update of what to expect for tomorrow. I'll keep you guys updated with the latest information tonight and into tomorrow for sure. Again, damaging winds main threat. Isolated tornadoes is going to be a threat as well. I do think we see several tornadoes across the central Kentucky area tomorrow. Torrential rainfall, also going to be a big deal. Isolated large hail, isolated instances of large hail, and lots of lightning is going to be tomorrow's main weather threats. And again, once these storms start, we will be live here the entire time. Not expected to see any storms tonight. Everybody's in the clear tonight. This is a tomorrow afternoon into tomorrow evening severe weather threat. Okay. And like I said, once we have updated information from the Storm Prediction Center, once the modeling data comes in tonight, I always have the habit of saying we're a team now. We have a team here at Zero Meter Chasers. our team will post those updates as we get into some more data tonight. Still got to figure out a few things, some fine detail type. What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, Anyways, fine tune the details of tomorrow's severe weather event. We'll get that tonight and into tomorrow morning, and then we'll just be watching radar and seeing what happens. So, um, again, thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be watching this very closely, and again, don't be scared, be prepared, and stay weather aware. I will talk to you guys soon. Have an